What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns. In this episode, we are doing Trigger Warning, a Spec Ops hero movie of epic proportion.
Not only is she Spec Ops, but her father was a Green Beret.
Yeah, because we know how that works. If you are Spec Ops and you have a kid, they're definitely Spec Ops material. Every time, 100% of the time, without fail.
Realistically, I would say like 1% of the time.
There's something about being the kid of a special forces person that, like, they turns them into turds. They're like, well, my dad was here. What is it called when you're
a legacy?
A legacy. I'm a legacy. It's like,
you know, the one thing that is accurate about this though is, for some reason, and I don't know the science behind it or whatever, but majority of Green Berets, I don't know if it extends to the SEAL community and all that, but a majority of Green Berets have daughters. I've got 2 daughters, you've got 2 daughters. On my entire team, out of all of the kids that were on my team, I can only think of 2 boys out of probably a dozen kids.
Yeah, it's because of this massive level of testosterone.
Maybe.
That's why Tom's got boys.
He's deficient. I had a buddy tell me one time that if you eat a lot of broccoli, you have a boy. So I started eating a ton of broccoli, and I had another girl.
There you go. It worked. Let's jump into this. Oh gosh, dude. I'm trying here. I am really trying. I do not want to be so mean, especially after like some of the times that we've put out our reviews and actors have gotten back to us. I mean, I'm consider myself friends with Johnny Lee Miller now. I really like that guy, and we hit it off. He's an awesome dude, and you know, that's not the only time that we've done a review and then connected with the actors that have been in it. So we need to keep in mind that there's a potential that some of the people that have worked really hard on these movies are going to watch this, and we don't want to be just, I personally don't want to be completely disrespectful. But so I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna say but and then to start destroying it. I'm gonna try to give a little more constructive criticism.
That's gonna last like 2 minutes.
I'm not good at it. Just know that I'm trying.
Reflex from the ridge. 2 cars in pursuit. Possible RPG.
Don't let them line up a shot!
Like right away, you're trying to sell us that she's a high-level special operations soldier, and she's hanging out. Doof 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 doof. Not one round hits.
True, but for me, the way that they sell that she's a special operations soldier is she's got the ops core with the high cut. So clearly, she's some sort of special operations. Otherwise, she wouldn't have that. And so, regular army has the low cut helmets. Special operations has the high cut. Sold.
She's in.
She's in.
That's all it took. That's all it took is buying a helmet. She just had to buy herself the right helmet. The whole just hanging out, doof, 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 doof. Don't let them line up a shot. Like, what are you talking about? What is happening? If you put yourself in that position, you're being chased by a vehicle. You have your rifle. You're out in the middle of the desert. If you have some special operations training, you're going to have some kind of vehicle tactics training. You're not just going to completely drive away from them and rely on, you know, me hanging out the window shooting at them.
It's not a drag race at that point.
Right. This is like Mad Max right now. We're just Mad Maxing through the middle of the desert. Maybe use some vehicle tactics. Slow down, brake check them, slam them, pit maneuvers, you know, drive in a different direction. A serpentine, something. Like, I don't know, something. And then it just gets worse because now we're drag racing, and then we'll watch the next scene and see how they set up an ambush in order to protect her from this drag race.
Hey,
so
okay, we'll get into it.
We'll get into this next.
In position. I have visual. Spider, I have a shot. Let her rig. We are ready to boogie.
Oh my gosh.
One of the most improbable sniper shots ever. But
Yeah,
the fact that a lone sniper, is your support by fire in your ambush.
Doesn't make any sense. How? Okay, so you have to think about this. They're drag racing down a desert strip, right? They're going really fast. Let's say they're, it's the desert, that medical van's probably not that fast. Let's say they could do 65 miles an hour. Your support by fire and your essentially your ambush is on foot.
Yeah.
So how long did they have to go on foot to get set up while you're just 65 miles an hour down a straight line? Imagine trying to catch someone on the highway and then line up a sniper shot in the middle of the highway and then hit the driver in the head.
And then the other part is there's 3 trucks chasing them?
Yeah, you only shot
You've got
one
one guy shooting. And so luckily he hit his target, because if he missed it, then you still have 3 trucks that within 10 seconds are
gone. They're gone.
You get one shot, one opportunity. You're like Eminem at this point. And the fact that he luckily got the one shot and hit the guy.
And it was still irrelevant. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it took out one truck.
And your driver, they're lining up the shot. I don't know if you know how RPGs work, but you just pull the trigger. You don't have to sit there and it's not like deep.
He's got tone. He's got tone.
It's like, what are you, Tom Cruise? Like, you're not lining up the shot, dude. He's just gonna shoot you with the RPG. So the whole vernacular is really odd. Like, did you not have anybody to go, that's a weird thing to say, lining up the shot, he's just gonna shoot the RPG, and then your whole ambush doesn't make sense. So to put those guys on foot, even if they all started shooting, right? This is what I'm trying to get at. When you set up in ambush, you have a kill zone, and that this is what they teach us in the Special Forces qualification course, and infantry knows this. This is just basic infantry maneuvers. When you set up an ambush, you have a kill zone, and that's about from the farthest point that your fire could reach to the farthest point that your fire could reach. And so you want to slow those vehicles down and stop them in the kill zone and keep them there as long as you can, so that all your fire is directed towards the enemy in that kill box, right? So if you have these 4 guys lined up, that kill zone is about, 50 meters, 100 meters from left to right in this distance. These cars doing 65 miles an hour are going to blow through that kill zone in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So the whole kill zone is pointless. So what they would have wanted to do was set up some kind of diversion, some kind of roadblock, some way to slow them down so they could stop them in the kill zone, and then they could direct all their fire at the same time and take out all the enemy, and then you win.
The other part is, not only do you want to stop them in the kill zone, but you want to make sure that they are going to be in that kill zone every time. They're in the middle of a dry lake bed. They can go veer to the left, veer to the right, wherever you want. And now your whole support by fire is null and void at that point. And then they shoot the van with the RPG, which sustains no damage other than it does a cartwheel basically on its side.
And of course, Jessica Alba was perfectly fine. Because why?
But the drivers did.
Because operators don't get affected by car accidents. We're immune.
We've seen that time and time again. And cars always flip over in these movies. Yeah. You shoot them a couple times and they just start flipping all of a sudden. Look at that, no damage in the back.
Oh yeah, RPG did no damage at all.
يلا بسرعة قبل ما يجوا. القفا فاضي.
What, dude? This dude just said the truck is empty. Did the Messiah come again and they just vanished to heaven? Did they
It's gone.
Did they just have the rapture?
It's empty.
What do you mean it's empty?
What kind of clear was that too? How much of that truck bed box could you see from that? 20-30%, maybe?
That's a good point. There could be 2-3 guys in there just waiting for you to walk up and start shooting you.
Nah, it's empty.
Nah,
just leave
empty.
it.
It's the whole thing's empty. Is that what he was talking about? Just the back of the bed?
I think he just saw just the back. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I thought he thought the rapture came and nobody was
Nobody's
in the
driving.
vehicle anymore, and then they just disappeared.
It's like one of those Teslas just going down. Well, who was shooting back at us?
It's empty. And then, of course, just the goofy face coverings.
Oh yeah, they always got it covered.
It's like as soon as you see those face coverings on the bad guys in any of these war movies anymore, you're just like, low budget. Like, it could be have the biggest budget. Stop doing that. Just stop. And a lot of people say, well, it's so they could reuse the actors.
Yeah.
They didn't reuse these actors anymore. There's no excuse for it. The reason they did it with Jessica Alba is because she couldn't do the stunts. I'm sorry. It just hit me why they covered their face, I bet.
They're in the desert.
They don't speak Arabic.
Oh, so they could just do a voiceover afterwards.
Because if you look at that, it completely sounded like a voiceover.
Yeah.
So because they couldn't find anyone that speaks Arabic, they had to cover their mouths.
I will, as being the devil's advocate, I will play devil's advocate. They are driving through the desert in the sand, and generally, never mind, because they're inside of a vehicle.
They're
with
inside
windows.
the vehicle. I was gonna say the only time.
Yeah, never mind.
Because I wore that over my face. I bought a head cover in Afghanistan, wore it over my face only when I was gonna be in the turret.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the dust hitting me in the face.
We rode in the Razors, which are completely open.
Yes.
And we'd always wear them, but they're inside of a vehicle, so never mind.
Doesn't make sense.
I'm trying here. I'm trying to help you out, guys.
This should have never happened.
That's what happens when you don't do a proper clear.
That's a good point. Proper clear. The whole thing with her being behind the truck and him being in front of the truck. What is the best thing you could do? And I'm not asking this like you answer the question, but the best thing you could do, so I'll rephrase that. The best thing you do when you're in a fight is to create space.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any space between the back of the truck and you at the front of the truck, why wouldn't you just back up? You have a gun. Take an angle out here and cut the pie on her.
Yeah.
She's at the back of the truck. Don't just start going up and keeping yourself at a disadvantage where you know that she could surprise attack you from the back of the truck. It makes no sense.
You're destroying your field of view at that point.
You're cutting all your field of view and you're giving yourself the worst tactical advantage possible. If she's going to be at the back of the truck, all you have to do is create space away, pie around like you would pie a door, and use basic infantry tactics to pie her off and then shoot her from behind. And let's say that you keep pieing around, and then so she goes inside the truck. Okay, fine. I just keep pieing. And eventually I'll pie myself all the way to the back to where I have line of sight of you, and I'll shoot you. And if I don't see you inside the truck, well, that truck ain't stopping bullets. So I'm just going to open fire on the whole back of that truck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get close enough for you to engage me in a knife fight. I have a gun. Sorry, I thought... Sick fight scene.
I think other than the fight scene, that's the other issue with their support by fire location. Look how long it took them to get onto the objective after
They're
that.
just out of the fight.
They're like, Parker, we're approaching the vehicle. Okay, well, we've already been in a car accident. We've killed 2 different people. We got into a fist fight with one guy, or a knife fight.
Been here for seemingly hours at this
Thank
point.
you.
Like,
Ready to be taken out
I'm
of here.
so glad that you put your rucks on and started the journey to our location. Like, the whole support by fire was there for half a second.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you spend... Anyway, you could ask why all you want. You're not going to get an answer because that's the kind of war movies that we put out. Trash. They're like half a mile away.
That's so funny. They're moving in this slow tactical formation. You could see for almost miles at this point.
I'm sorry, Nick.
I thought that was so she's this like knife expert, and that's the choice of location for her knife is a foldable karambit.
Where is it? Up here?
Attached to your shoulder strap. Let me tell you right now, nobody is attaching a knife to their shoulder strap on your kid. First of all, your shoulder strap is meant to be like ripped off and pulled So she's got the butt of the karambit up on her neck. So let's say that she goes down and I have to grab her kit and pull her. That karambit's going to shove up into her neck and like cut up her neck. That's just a horrible place. And then on top of that, you're not making it so you can get it with both left and right hand. So that's why we typically wear it center line, is so left or right we can get it at it. And she's got it like up here, so she has to use this one. You can't rip away your shoulder strap in case you need to, take your kit off like quickly, whatever, for medical reasons. You find yourself in water. Typically is a reason that you want to start downing gear. So like a vehicle rollover or something like that into a lake. It's just a weird, and then a foldable knife we're typically not doing either.
I made that mistake once.
Using a foldable knife?
Yeah, I forget. We were doing, it was in training, luckily. I forget what we were doing, but I had a little foldable knife, and for some reason, I put it right here on my admin pouch. And something, we're going through, like, I forget, I think there was like a simulated casualty or something. We're going through working the patient or something like that. And all of a sudden, like, somebody like points at me, and I look down, and the knife had unfolded and was like this. Oh, and I looked down at the point of the knife. And so, like, that could go wrong pretty bad, right?
Yeah, dude.
So that's when I learned, okay, no foldable knives up here, because that thing came out like this and could have jabbed me right in the face.
See, the things that you learn from experience, and you find out sometimes the wrong way. I think that guy that just pointed at you is a dick.
Well, I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, it was like,
yeah.
You
I would have been like, hey, dude, don't move. Your knife came undone. Like, don't move, and let me help you or something. Not like, look down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like we feel hip.
What a jerk.
Adam, no! Parker! What are you doing?
What the fuck?
It's over. It's over.
Dude, I can't.
They're just trying to end each other, basically. They're teammates. They're on the same team.
Oh, she just stabbed her teammate. Oh, there's so many things that happen right here. Like,
I've seen teammate fights before, but generally you don't try to kill or incapacitate the other person.
Dude, she stabbed him in the hand, and then they just walked away like nothing happened. Like, what? You just stabbed your teammate.
All the way through his hand. And that was his shooting hand, too.
What is this?
Just that whole scene right there,
was
right?
so cheesy.
All right, I get the point. You want to make a big deal that you don't want him killing hostages or POWs or whatever the case may be, right? You toss his gun. But then the fact that then he just goes and swings on her, for one, is kind of crazy. And then when she pulls out the knife, it's like, what the hell is going on? This is, you would never see this happen.
And look, there's two guys right there in the background. There's the guy that she was just talking to, and nobody did anything.
Nobody cares.
Like all of a sudden, he comes up, he goes, "Guys, stop!" Guy, what do you mean, guys, stop? She just stabbed him.
Look at my hand.
He could bleed out. Like what? What are you talking about? What is happening?
He might not be able to operate anymore.
This is like the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Like, I can't believe that they thought that scene was a good idea.
Thank you.
Yo, Mo. Yo, can we get another round over here?
Yes, sir. Just give me 1 second.
Thank you for your service. I got you.
So happy that they didn't make the soldiers like douchebags.
I know.
I was so worried when I started watching this. I was like, great. Now they made some army sergeants, and now they're going to be like, hey, what's up, hottie? Grab her ass or something. That's what I was worried about. And I was like, they're going to make them super douches. And they just, thank you for your service. He said, thank you, man. I was like, oh, thank God.
I mean, granted, they shouldn't be in there drinking in uniform, but we'll let them pass.
They will.
Could have been worse.
Nothing we haven't done before.
Yeah, right. We went one time. We used to do buys and burgers, burgers and beer on Friday on my team. So we go to the gym. We do arm workouts. So we'd always do biceps.
Wow, I was really confused about the bias part.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Camera's rolling, dude. I don't
I
know.
was like, it's about to get weird. Bro.
Biceps.
Oh yeah, okay.
We go.
Sure,
we
sure,
do
sure.
a good arm workout, and
Uh-huh.
then for lunch we'd always go to Red Robin, and we get a couple beers. And I remember one of the waitresses, because our medic was in uniform for some reason, and I was like, I don't think you're allowed.
Probably
to
had a class to do or something.
something. And she said something about him drinking in uniform, and he's like, "Oh, it's okay. You're just not allowed to be visibly drunk." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And it's just like, as long as you say something with confidence, even though it didn't mean anything. She was a waitress, not like she's not gonna give it to us. But just the fact that's the only time we've ever been called on something like that.
So she still gave it to you, is what you're saying?
Yeah, of course. But it was biceps, guys. Don't get excited about the biceps.
Start the car.
Up next, an old favorite here on KWI.
They're following right now. Look at them tailing.
Between us four,
Okay, it feels weird. You know, what if they just drive a busted up car and now we're being Karens, we're following them?
We are not being Karens. They had a machine gun in the back of their car.
A machine gun?
My thought is that a machine gun. It was an AR
Not easy.
spec ops operator. Navy sealstress.
I like how she's like, leave one car length behind.
One car length.
Like, that's how they taught you how to tail people?
It's the middle of the
There's
night.
nobody else on the road.
Like, obviously you're following them, and they don't look behind once to be like, whoa, who's this car?
Oh, we better get out of the way. We got machine guns in the back, eh?
There's machine guns in the back. First of all, you saw an AR, and you should know that. And then you're like, they got machine guns. And then the whole following thing is ridiculous. You're so close to them. And she says, one car length? Dude, you should be blocks away from them.
Yeah.
You should be barely able to see each other. And, like, if they turn off, you have to hope that you guess right. That's how you have to kind of get lucky with tailing, especially in the middle of the night. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because anytime you see that guy pulling up, you're going to know, like, what's that one person doing? And let me know if you guys want a video on tailing, because we did a lot of that in law enforcement, and I kind of wanted to, like, talk about tailing, how to lose a tail, and maybe potentially do a video on how to lose a tail.
That could be fun.
Because first of all, it would be fun. We can get some rental cars. What I was thinking was half the team gets a rental car, so the other half doesn't know what the car is, and then you have to.
You got to make the tail.
You got to make the tail. So we could. There's a lot of tips and tricks, because a lot of times people think that you tail someone from behind, but when I was a cop, one of my favorite things to do is to tail from the front. And nobody ever thinks that. They're always looking from behind. But if you're tailing somebody, you could pass them. This is my favorite move. I loved it. I would pass them and then tail them through the rearview mirror. Or if I was, let's say I'm like looking for drug deals in a bad neighborhood. Obviously, some white dude sitting there staring at gangbangers is going to get spotted.
Like all the
in a heartbeat.
movies, and they've got the binoculars
Yeah.
or the big camera in the car.
Like, come on. Like, gangsters know if you go to a gang neighborhood, you're going to keep your head down, right? You're not going to look at them. You don't want trouble. So as anytime there's like white people and they're like, obviously you're a cop. So what you do is park, like, offset a corner and then park so they're behind you, and then you look in the rearview mirror. So that way it always looks like you're trying to mind your own business, but you're just watching everything from the rearview mirror. The rearview mirror is your best friend. So let us know if you guys want to, see a video just about how to lose a tail. And I think the importance of that, obviously cops are going to know, because they don't want to get followed by suspects on their way home that they arrest. And that's why we're adamant. And then we have to follow suspects. But, women working at bars that want to make sure they're not getting followed home by creepy dudes, things like that. If you have a stalker, knowing how to pick up a tail and lose it could be beneficial, and we want to help you guys learn. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know, and we'll do a full video for you guys. Hey, if you guys like the clothes that I'm wearing, I'm finally getting dressed up. I actually put in a little effort into what I'm wearing, which is not like me. I really don't care about how I look, but ever since I started wearing the barbell clothes, I really do enjoy their outfits, and I enjoy the way I look and being a little bit more presentable. So if you guys enjoy these clothes, go check out barbell.com. We'll put a link below. They send us free stuff and sponsor some videos, and we really appreciate Barbell and their apparel. So We really think you guys will like their stuff. Go check it out. I'll try to link. I got the jeans. They're stretchy. So if you guys are doing the squats and not neglecting leg day, they're some of the best jeans you can get. And I highly recommend their shirts. Super comfortable, great gym attire.
Or if you just want to roundhouse somebody in the face.
Yeah.
You got to get that height without blowing out the knee.
If you want to kick a sign without blowing out the knee.
Nobody took me up on that challenge yet.
Dude, that was my favorite story, bro. You're like, I tried to kick it and my other leg came out. That's not a way to talk to a lady.
Actually, I don't know what happens to the lizard after this. That was the last time you see the lizard.
Oh,
he just takes off. But
it burned alive.
I don't know if anybody on this movie knows, but that's not how Molotov cocktails work. You can't just go to a bottle of liquor, toss a rag in, light it on fire, and toss it like that and expect that to happen. It requires some sort of, we would use it like an oil mixture and a gas mixture, which I guess certain liquors are high enough proof that they'll ignite. But you can't just walk up and just grab bottles off the bar.
He was grabbing like any bottle.
And he was just like, whew, like the rag. How do you get the rag in there that quick?
Yeah.
It was just like you just hit it and it was there.
They got and then they got the shot pours on it.
Yeah.
Like this, so you got to pop that off. Then you got to take the rag. You got to twist up the rag to get the tiny little hole.
Yo.
Then you have to soak the rag enough to on the outside to where it's actually going to light.
Yo, my guy was rapid firing bottles like,
and then saying the B word just all willy nilly, like, yo, dude, calm down.
Bitch. Like, come on, but
that is no way to talk to a lady.
It's on we've talked about it on other ones before. It's in the technique. You don't overhand a Molotov cocktail. That's how you catch yourself on fire. Everybody knows that, dumbass. You got to sidearm it.
Yeah, sidearm that.
Come on.
You think I learned that from the military? We used to we used to throw Molotov cocktails at the train as it went by and feeling.
All right, so
it was the best because it would just go like a huge flame ball would come out.
Pretty sure that's a felony. But the other thing I want
statute of limitations.
Prove it. I wasn't there.
There's got to be a victim.
But the other thing I wanted to ask you from watching this movie and the lawlessness that goes on. I've never been to where you grow up, but I would imagine this is very much like Phelan, the place that this movie takes place, in the desert. Get away with whatever you want.
We kind of did where Abel and I grew up. You could pretty much do whatever you want.
Throw Molotov cocktails at trains?
Throw Molotov cocktails at trains. We really were. So, I mean, it's hard to argue that.
All right.
That's why you don't piss off your neighbors, because they'll come get you. They'll come get you, and nobody's coming to save you. So by the time the cops get there, everything's done. So, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that episode. I'm sorry it's another bad one. Maybe you'll watch this and enjoy the breakdown, even though you're probably not going to watch the movie. But please watch it and like our show, because we're trying, and we had to watch it for you, so you don't have to. And that deserves a thumbs up and a subscription button click.
I think it's worth a watch if you have nothing else to do. It's not the worst movie we've seen.
Okay, someone on Rotten Tomatoes said, think of any other way to spend 2 hours and it's better than this.
About this movie?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that was pretty funny.
I thought it was more entertaining as like how comical it was in certain aspects. But don't go into this thinking you're going to see John Wick or Lone Survivor. You'll be disappointed like this guy.
I was sad. So if you enjoyed that breakdown, and again, thank you to all of our fans who like the show and watch the show every Sunday and leave comments and likes on it. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate you so much. And you wouldn't believe the comments that we get about how we're not doing the show right, and how, we don't show enough of this, and I talk too much and all that stuff. So every time you guys say something positive, it really helps the motivation, it helps the morale, and it reminds us that we're doing it for our true core fans and the ones that really enjoy the show. And we really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Let us know how bulbous and vascular he looks.
He is bulbous.
You're so bulbousy.
I walk like this now, like fucking corner man.
What's up, everybody? Kurt from the FNG Academy here. If you have any interest in becoming a Green Beret or joining Special Operations, I want to invite you to check us out at our Patreon. We've currently got over 100 videos in the catalog there. We post new videos weekly. We do a monthly giveaway as well. Come over and check us out. We have a few different tiers, everything from just supporting the channel to our FNG Extras tier, which will get you access to our weekly videos, and then all the way up to a mentorship tier, which will get you bi-weekly calls with one of our Green Beret mentors that will help you get mentally prepared and mentally ready to go to selection and succeed. So make sure you check us out at our team room. That is patreon.com/FNG Academy. We can't wait to see you there.